Salute Black Goose TV family. What's good with it? I'm not gonna make this particular reaction video that long. I'm gonna be 100 with you, but I went to go ahead and post this video because I want to show love to Shakur Stevenson. I want to show love to Oscar Valdez as well. Okay, let me get that absolutely clear to y'all. I want to show love to Oscar Valdez, but I did want to show love to Shakur Stevenson. The reason why I want to show love to Shakur Stevenson is some of y'all be like, why y'all want to show love, or why do you want to show love to a nigga who just won and convincingly won at that? He's not getting enough love. Shouldn't all your love be to Valdez and respect him as a warrior? Look, I'm also sending that type of positive vibes his way, but as we all know, Stevenson, he had a slight brawl after the fight. It was during the post-fight press conference. It wasn't a brawl. It was more so a disruption, right? So people was going back and forth with his moms outside of the press conference room. He left that joint, went out there, it had a mishap. So, that got, obviously, everything. We're in the age of videos. We're in the age of filming. So obviously that got put out there in the internet. And a lot of negative things came at Shakur Stevenson, right? A lot of negative connotations came his way, like you should just accept your win. Why'd you have to disrespect your opponent and end up doing that during your post-fight press conference? Even though I don't know the details on it, I don't know if it had anything to do with Valdez or anything like that. It could have easily just been a fan trying to get at his mom's in a disrespectful way, and it started a brawl. But I've seen a lot of negative rhetoric towards Stevenson because of the disruption that happened afterwards, and Shakur Stevenson taking a choice to be a part of that disruption in order to protect his mother. I've seen a lot of very, very disrespectful and negative connotations, negative perspective, negative opinions thrown at Shakur Stevenson, which ultimately it's not taken away from his win. But I also understand there's a lot of haters out there. There's a lot of people who didn't want to see Stevenson win, and they're trying to push this across to make sure it has more steam than his actual win against Valdez. Now, I might be in a fairy tale land. I might be the only person seeing this. And if I'm wrong, y'all tell me below. Y'all be like, you didn't even have to make this video, Fluence, because ain't nobody paying attention to that bullshit, right? You in the wrong side of YouTube, Instagram, whatever the case may be. You on the wrong side of social media if you're paying attention to that bullshit. And you are probably 100% right. But even with that being said, sometimes you got to combat some of that negativity with some positivity. You know what we all Fluence. I was about to call y'all Fluence family, but y'all still Fluence family because originally I'm Fluence. But Black Goose TV family, y'all know, sometimes you gotta counterattack that negativity, man. Show some positivity, and that's what I want to do with this reaction video. I want to show how much of a good motherfucker Shakur Stevenson is, even with all these different things being thrown out to him because of the aftermath of the particular fight and what happened during the post-fight press conference. Shakur Stevenson is a good young brother. And we need to respect him for that. And I've never seen him have anything bad to say about his opponents. I've never seen him disrespect his opponent. It's always been very, very respectful. So let's go ahead and take a look at what Shakur Stevenson had to say on his Twitter about Oscar Valdez, his opponent, that he thoroughly and easily beat. Let's get it. So he said Valdez defended his title at 126 about 6 times. Might have been more, might have been a little bit less, but we know it was around that number 6, right? He then moved up to 130 and fought the boogeyman, Burchelt, which is an accurate statement. Burchelt was the boogeyman at the time. No one expected Burchelt to lose. Burchelt was a legend. He still is a legend, but it was very surprising when we saw the outcome. But he moved up to 130, fought the boogeyman Burchelt for the title and beat him up and then knocked him out. Not only did he beat him up, he outboxed him and then knocked him out with absolutely beautiful combination. So he is up saying, please stop discrediting him. He's a hell of a fighter and champion. And when his career is over, he will go down in the history books. So that is Shakur Stevenson's statement. Now, I want to ask you guys, do you agree with it? Do you agree that Valdez has done so much in his career that he will go down as a Hall of Famer and he will go down in the history books regardless of this loss to Stevenson? Do you also agree with that? You guys got to stop discrediting these. Look, actually, let me take back that last question. Do you guys agree with discredit? No, fuck that. This is me coming from me personally. Stop discrediting your favorite fighters, or stop discrediting someone that you choose to beat another fighter because you don't like the fighter he's fighting. And when he loses, the first thing y'all gonna say is, I'm gonna discredit the fighter that I chose previously because he had X, Y, and Z. They didn't match. You know what I'm saying? Stop doing that. Stop disrespecting the people that you are respecting prior to the actual decision being made. And that comes back to what I was saying. I can't remember if it was this video or if it was the video before where I'm like, us boxing fans, we are in this atmosphere where there's a large majority of us where we admire, or sports fans, period, we admire what these athletes do because we can never do it. So because of that, the way we judge things, the way we have an opinion, it's based on he could do it, why can't he do it? Rather than being like, well, let me put myself in those shoes. Let me try and figure out how hard it is to even get to that point and be able to understand that there's limitations to everything, even if you get to the highest level, even if you get to a level I never expected myself to be in or couldn't imagine myself to be in, there's still limitations at that point, right? But we don't have that mindset because a lot of you guys will never push yourself to the point to see what your limitations are. That's the problem with you motherfuckers. And that's why sports is such a big thing, is because sports gives an illusion to a lot of us, whereas look how hard this person works. You have to respect it. So we watch these people, we follow them, become fans, and we think we're a part of their work ethic. So we can easily discredit the person they're fighting or the opposition of the person we don't like and say, you're not working hard as them, and this is why, right? And so when they end up losing, we're like, see, I told you. Or when they end up winning, we're like, well, X, Y, and Z is the excuse. But in reality, it just comes down to the fact that we are looking at people that we never would even imagine putting ourselves through the type of scrutiny that they put themselves through, work ethic, et cetera, et cetera. And so because of that, we're talking from such a fantasy world, right? Or it's like, hey, just go to a boxing gym for a week. Have them put you through the ringer. Pay your little $300. Have them put you through the ringer. And you're going to have an understanding of what it is to push yourself past exertion, past what you think you're capable of. And now think about doing that year round, right? It'll change your whole perspective, have you look at this shit. But anyways, I went into a tangent that I wasn't trying to go into. It's just I'm trying to tell you guys how us as boxing fans, we just don't look at shit the right way, right? You can be an employee to a company, and if your boss tells you something, you won't question it. Why? Because you're like, that's my boss. He created the company. So let me just do what he says. But then because we have the luxury and the freedom to question these fighters, even though we don't know what they did to get there, rather than being like, well, he's Shakur Stevenson. I don't know what he did to get there, but I'm going to respect it because I can never do it. We'd be like, X, Y, and Z is wrong. It's part of the game. That's what makes boxing so fun. That's what makes sports so fun. Like, you have to have opposition. You have to have people having different opinion. It's all part of the game. But don't get mad at me because I'm going to call the bullshit out. That's it. It's part. Let me call the bullshit out. I'm going to call the bullshit out. I'm even going to call the bullshit out on myself. I do the same shit. It is what it is. Even though I put in the work. You know what I'm saying? Y'all niggas, I put in the work. Y'all see, go look at the daily check-ins. I put in the work, goddammit. But anyways, man, I just want to say, man, salute to Shakur Stevenson for dropping this tweet, showing love to Valdez, and just being like, man, stop y'all discrediting fighters because y'all didn't want me to beat Valdez, right? I beat him. And so now you're saying all the reasons why I beat him was because of X, Y, and Z. It wasn't because I was better than him. We got to stop doing that as boxing fans, man. We got to be better than that. We just got to be like, yo, this is what it is. Styles make matchups, folks. That's why we bet on this shit. Anyways, I'm out for the night. I love y'all. Please drop it in the comments what you think below. Disagree, agree. I don't really give a fuck. I just want to hear y'all opinion. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm out of here. But as always, I'll be back on my own.